Get it ready. It's about that time to break forth with the
Break forth
rhythm and
the
the
rhythm of the
rhyme. I'm
rhyme.
gonna get mine, so get yours. I want to see sweat coming out your pores. Who
Yeah.
rapped that? Who?
That was Mark Wahlberg. That was old
Yes,
Marky
it
Mark.
was.
Marky Mark himself. Marky
And
Mark
I can say I'm
and the
not
Funky
wearing
Bunch.
Calvin Klein underwear while I do it.
What
So,
uh what's your favorite Mark Wahlberg movie?
oh, um, man, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of him in comedy.
Really?
I'm not. So it's
The
got to be
Departed's
something
good.
serious.
The
The part
Departed's
is
good.
good.
The Departed's good. The Departed
Yeah.
good.
Well, and that's just a great movie.
That is a great
I
movie.
mean,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
you could put about anybody with those
No,
other
no, I
actors.
mean, crap, that cast, had Matt Damon, Jack. You know
Yeah.
what I think Matt Damon and Jack should do though, Travis?
What's that?
I think they should get together and watch this podcast. They really
They
should.
should.
They
They
should
really
watch it.
should.
And then they should
That
go,
would help bring them together.
bring them together. Then,
Yeah.
bring Affleck in. I know he wasn't in that movie. Bring Affleck in anyway. Yeah. And you know what? And then Affleck would give it a like.
Hey, and Leonardo DiCaprio could tell his 20-year-old girlfriends.
20-year-old girlfriend share it with her
That's right.
on her little pad
And
with
she could
the
get the word out to all her friends because,
friends would
she's
share
probably
it.
going, yeah.
And they would subscribe, and then before you know it, would be huge. It'd be
Huge.
huge, bigger than sliced bread, Travis.
That's
Bigger
right.
than sliced bread.
That's all we need. So
It would be Taylor Swift, Joe Rogan, us, sliced bread.
that's right. That's right. So all we need is for y'all, if you're watching this, to like, share, subscribe, so that Mark Wahlberg can hear my great rendition of his music, and he's gonna
There you
say,
go.
"Man, I gotta share this with all my
You know,
friends."
you know what we
And
should
next
do,
thing you
Travis?
know, Leonardo DiCaprio's underage girlfriend sharing it, and we're golden.
We're golden. But instead of listening to you saying Mark Wahlberg, you know what they should do?
What should they do?
Listen to Lil Sean Ship.
Yeah, that's probably a little better. Let's do.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Ever seen a blind man see? I promise you a change his name. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change his name. Broken heart made whole. Ever seen an orphan find a home? Ever seen a weak find the strength? I promise you I'll change his name. Ever seen the sick get healed? Ever seen a mystery revealed? Ever seen a death man raised? I promise you I'll change his name. Seen a broken heart made whole. Ever seen an orphan find a home? Ever seen a weak find the strength?
What's up, everybody? It's time. It's time for the Hawg Slop podcast. I'm your boy, bigger T. Joined as always by my man, Big C, Clint Clark. How you doing, buddy?
Man, great. I be honest with you, I logged into Zoom and this was the virtual background. I think I probably accidentally did this. I've been liking the blocks,
The
but
brick.
honestly, I'm just too lazy to change it.
Well,
So
now it looks like you're.
I'm on the Golden Gate Bridge. Is that the
You
Golden
know,
Gate Bridge?
you know what I think of now every time I see the Golden Gate Bridge, and I think that is a golden. I may be wrong there,
Yeah,
but
yeah. If we, yeah,
you
there
know
could
what I
be
think
like,
of from now on is the scene from Parks and Rec.
see, I think Full House.
Oh yeah, Full House. Yeah, I
I
see.
just
I
think,
wasn't a huge Full House fan, so
I mean, you know
but I
what?
was a huge Parks and Rec
Uncle
fan.
Joey and Jesse, it is it's still wild, no matter how old I live, that you ought to know was written about Uncle Joey.
Yeah,
It's just, I mean, there I'll just
yeah,
never.
yeah.
I mean, I mean, Travis, we're dipping in the 50-year-old range, and I'll
We're
just never
getting
get up
there,
there.
getting close.
Yeah, I mean, it is bearing up on us
I can see that from
rapidly.
here. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but
top of the hill awaits.
yeah, there you go.
Hey,
But yeah,
speaking of, well, I guess TV movies, stuff like that.
yeah.
Robert Duvall
Oh man,
passed away. Now, 95 years old, lived a long, good life. What's your go-to Robert Duvall?
dude. A low key good one that I loved him in. Of course, I mean, you get how can you not love Lonesome Dove?
Yeah, oh yeah,
And
yeah,
then the other stuff. But man, Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell,
yeah,
where where he's the older soccer coach, and it's a fun movie. Has the legendary Mike Ditka in it.
yeah,
Man, but yeah, what an amazing, it's
yeah,
been a rough one. We lost James Caan recently,
yeah, yeah.
Um, so
Well,
it's
for me, Robert Duvall, I like Secondhand Lines.
okay.
Wonderful movie. One of his best. And then Open Range, of course. And then one that's not as popular is The Apostle, where he's a preacher that kind of goes rogue for a little while. It's got Billy Bob Thornton in it. It was filmed partially in Arkansas
Okay.
and filmed over in Hughes and some other areas in Arkansas. It's got Billy Bob. It's got one of Billy Bob's buddies who was a furniture salesman in Malvern, also at the time of the taping of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, well, you
Called
got to
up
hook your
to
furniture salesman buddy up.
That's right. So anyway, it was a cool one. So but anyway, yeah. Sad to hear him gone, but he left us a lot of good stuff to watch. So anyway.
So, well, Trev, right before I was going to jump on the podcast, I turned it over to First Take and I just listened to them talking heads.
Yeah, yeah.
And they brought something up to my attention, and it's been a problem for years. And we've seen it a gajillion times where teams just tank.
Yeah.
They start tanking. They lose on purpose. We've seen it in football where they're like, you know what, we're gonna let Brandon Allen start because we got a chance to get Arch Manning next year. And if we start Joe Burrow, then we won't get,
Yeah.
they hinder themselves from winning.
Yeah.
I guess it's getting so bad in the NBA, they're talking about taking drastic measures, taking draft picks away.
Yeah, and in fact who's the commissioner?
Adam Silver.
Silver. Yeah, he was talking. I heard an interview with him where he was talking about even changing the way they do the draft to where you got to win a certain amount of games to get the first pick, even or to be in the draft lottery. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, see, no, they just said, like everything is on the table. I mean, it's one of the things you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you do because, I mean, one of the things that Mark Cuban said that they were quoting him, he's like, basically, he goes, fans don't care to go see their team win. They just want to be entertained, and it's more of an affordability issue
Yeah.
than that. Travis, what do you have to say to that?
I think, man, I think people want to see their team at least be competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the reasons. Look, I'm a Browns fan and a Razorback fan, and struggle. But
Hurt is what
I
you're
know, I
saying.
know, hurt. But I'm also a Yankees fan. Okay,
Oh, then yeah.
and people talk about them bad. They're like, yeah, they spend all this money or whatever. But here's the thing. Yes, the Yankees make the most money, but they put that money back into. Now, do I like the way they spend their money very often? Not usually. Do I
Yeah.
think it's bad for baseball the way the Dodgers are paying out contracts right now the way they are? But as a fan, every year, I know the Yankees are going to compete for the playoff in the World
Right,
Series.
yeah.
Like I go like with the Browns, I don't get that. Okay,
Right, yeah.
I don't get that because the ownership doesn't give a rip. And I would much rather that than teams like what the Marlins did years ago, a couple times. They would pour money into the team, win a championship, and then let everybody go and ride that wave that they made from that 1 year of winning the World Series for a couple years before they would start building a roster again.
Yeah. Yeah, you have your teams in football, and they'll finish 8-8, 8-9, and they'll perennially do that.
Yeah.
They're just going to do that every year, like it's like a Jeff Fisher coach team.
Yeah.
Bo Pelini and I mean they had a ceiling. I mean, would you rather? I mean, it's almost like they're being punished for being competitive.
Yeah.
in the current format. But the problem that really is happening now is when the guys brought it up, is that gambling is so pertinent now.
Yeah.
And you got teams basically out there losing on purpose.
Yeah.
And the problem now is, and this is the reason they're having to act, is the integrity of the game is being attacked.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
and I
and that,
never, because tanking's gone on for years. You know, a few years ago when Marcus Mariota was going to be the number one overall pick, people were saying suck for the duck. You know, I mean,
yeah.
it was just,
Or tanking for Tua with the Dolphins. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it just it's happened since sports has been around.
Yeah.
Um, but now it's like, oh no, there's consequences to this. It's not just the draft pick, you're attacking the integrity because people are gambling on this. It's such a large rate.
Well, and the other thing with the NBA, I mean, you see teams that are actually good teams like the Thunder sitting, what, 7 or 8 players against, I forget what it was, but the Spurs had in one week, they played the Thunder, who was a good team, and then played the Lakers, who's a pretty good team.
Yeah.
One of them set 8 players and one of them set 7 players against the Spurs. People were talking about, boy, the Spurs had a lucky week this week, you know. And so you're right. And if you're someone who's into gambling and you bet on that game thinking, hey, at least Luca or LeBron's going to play, and neither one of them play
Well, there was one
because they're
time,
just resting them.
yeah. Well, there was one time I went to Memphis and I was going to watch the Cleveland Cavaliers play the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, for me, from Little Rock, it's a 2.5 hour journey.
Mm,
Uh, at the time, now 2.5 hours is nothing.
yeah,
But at the time, like that was a big deal for me.
yeah,
And I spent money going to do that, it was a significant investment to go do that and have that adventure. And I get there, and LeBron was going to be out of the game.
yeah,
He ended up playing, but like at first, but you know that like what is the point of coming to this? We're not going to see LeBron
yeah,
because like you pay to go see the Celtics, and the reason you go play to see the Celtics was to see Paul Pierce at the time.
yeah,
Carmelo Anthony, you go see those other players play in Memphis, and then if they're not there,
yeah,
kind of it's like, yeah,
yeah.
that sucks, and you lose part of that investment that you made, and the
That's right.
value of the money I spent on the hotel is not as good, and I feel like they owe it to the fans to compete. I know they want championships too, but you didn't see Scottie Pippen or Michael Jordan out for load management.
No, no.
I mean, you didn't see Kareem's old butt out there taking a game off for load management.
In fact, they were giving their coaches the side eye if they even took them out of a game.
Right. And these guys today do not get hit
No,
and they do not get the contact that Michael
no,
Jordan and them used to. I mean, the Detroit Pistons used to commit felonies on Michael Jordan.
yeah.
And this isn't me getting an old man rant. That's just saying that's just the
Oh,
difference
it's
in
just
the game.
truth. It's just the truth. Yeah,
It's just truth. I mean, you just
yeah,
didn't see that. And maybe it's because they're smarter about injuries, and maybe it's because we were a tougher generation. Maybe it's a combination of the two. Who knows?
yeah.
But so
Well,
anyway.
speaking of tough, how about them basketball hogs, baby?
Woo, yeah.
We
Yeah.
great game. Got that revenge against Auburn. Of course, Auburn's best player wasn't there, but still an SEC win
You got to take the win.
against a team that blew you out last time you played them and made you look really bad. Um, it's a good win. It's a good win.
That was a real good win. Darius Acuff gets his 583rd consecutive SEC Freshman of the Week. A ridiculous number like that. I believe he set the record, Travis.
But they won't make him the SEC Player of the Week. They'll just make him the Freshman of the Week.
No.
Which anyway.
Now, Trav, I sent you something on Acuff along those lines. It was like a little that they had. It's from a mock draft. It was from Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
And they were saying they've got him going number 8 overall to the Memphis Grizzlies. Now I'm going to join for the rest of this season, but they gave a little markup and they said pro comparison. Travis, what did you think of his pro comparison?
Who was it they said?
Stephon Marbury.
Yeah, I've heard that from others. Um, I, th- I don't go with that.
No, you don't think so?
I
'Cause
don't think so.
I agree with it. I just think the way they play, I don't know.
I think I would go more with here's what I think. I think he's more of a point guard version of Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
If you watch the style of play, because Russell Westbrook was the style. Look, I'm a big. If you ever talk to me about NBA, Russell Westbrook is not one of my favorite players because he doesn't play within the system. He doesn't play within the offense. That's why he hasn't won championships. Okay, he's a stat pumper, but he's not a guy. And I think Acuff's more of a team player from what I've seen. Uh, but he's not. But Russell Westbrook is a freak athlete.
Right.
Plus, he's like 6'4", 6'5". But I see Acuff being able, the way he drives to the basket and gets to the basket and is able to hit mid range, and he may be a better outside shooter than Westbrook was at the same age. Now Westbrook, got a little better as he got older, but uh, that's who I think personally. I may be wrong. People, you can comment, tell me how
Yeah.
stupid I am. Look, I know they play different position, but if Westbrook played point guard and was more of a ball handler and more of a floor general, but I think the way they go to the basket, the way they attack offensively, that's my comparison.
Now they did also later on. I didn't screenshot it, but they did have Malik Thomas being the last pick of the first round.
Yeah.
Um, so there is that. So
Hey, and I think Billy Richmond's playing himself into the draft. Maybe
no,
not this
Bill.
year. He may need to come back another year, but NBA teams are gonna love him.
Yeah. Well,
He's got that Patrick Beverly, that guy like that
no, 100%. And outside Joe Johnson, Patrick Beverly's had the best NBA career.
yeah.
I mean,
And
you'd have to
wasn't
put him ahead of Bobby Portis probably. I mean, I think Anthony Black is going to be giving that a run for the money soon.
yeah. But
He's doing
and of course, Beverly wasn't the best scorer. It wasn't the best offensive guy. He does whatever he needs to do. Now he was more defensive focused.
yeah.
I think Billy does a lot more offensively than what Beverly's able to do, and he's taller and longer. He can guard more positions, but he's not going to be. He's not the intense on the ball defender that Beverly
Yeah.
is. So, but I mean, that's. I think he could. I think he can have a career like Beverly, though. He can get on a team, and a team's like, okay, that's the guy we need. He's going to bring intensity. He's going to bring, and NBA teams need that because, like we've talked about, they're a bunch of prima donnas most of the time, right? And I would
Yeah.
say Billy Goat is not a prima donna.
No,
He's willing to do
definitely
the
not.
dirty work. So now this team, Clint, we got Alabama coming up tonight. Big
Yeah.
game.
And they do not have their 70-year-old center.
That's right. Yeah, he's back to the NBA. Uh, but that's it's going to be a big game. They're going to move the ball. Alabama's going to move the ball up and down. But here's what I've kind of decided: we're going to get what we're going to get from Acuff.
Yeah.
We're going to get what we're going to get from Thomas. I think they're going to be. So far they've proven themselves to be consistent. This team is going to live and die by Brazil. And if he has a bad game, you got to have Ewing and Pringle to step up.
Yeah.
It's either got to be. I think Brazil's good enough to where if you have him, I think we saw in the last game. I think Ewing and Pringle just did okay. Brazil had a really good game. The last two games, really. And I think you need both of them if Brazil's not mental. Because I think a lot of it Brazil is just mental, to be honest with you. Because I think the talent's there. What do you feel about it?
Oh no, Brazil's been an NBA player since he stepped on campus. Let's be honest, Brazil's been an NBA player since he stepped on Missouri's campus.
Yeah.
He's got the frame, he's got the body, he's got the shot. If he's on, he's awesome. If he's not on, then it's not awesome.
Yeah.
You got to figure it out. I mean, it's like Cal said, if he's not a double night, then he's not living up to his potential. And he said that in media days, and Brazil agreed with him.
Yeah.
I mean, Brazil knows how he was, and you remember when all the injuries happened last year towards the end of the season. Um, you're like, okay, who's gonna step up? Well, maybe they'll start the two bigs, and they end up starting Brazil, and then Brazil really took off, and that's when Arkansas kind of took off.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, Brazil's kind of the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you're 100% correct. And he's been having good games more often than not. So let's hope he can keep it up. And I think he can. He's paying himself into, at least being a round two pick, I think. I mean, he can't come back to college
Yeah.
unless he gets on that Trinidad Chambliss plan.
That's
Um,
right. Yeah. Well, this game's going to be a big one, Clint, but
can we
it's
can we
going to.
file an injunction in Fayetteville, North Carolina? Can we get it
That's right. Yeah.
before the honorary Mr. Broyles?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
No relation.
Yeah. Uh, this game's going to be a big one, I think, to set up the rest of the season. And it's not a must win or anything like that. I
Well,
want to. I
there are
want
no
to say
more must
that.
wins, Travis. We are a virtual lock. They did come out from Joe Lenardi that Arkansas is locked in. They are in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, but I mean, I think as far as how we finish in the SEC,
no,
how
you're
we
you're you're,
finish.
you're
I
second in
mean,
the SEC right now, only behind Florida.
and we
So
still
yeah,
got to play. Bama tonight, Missouri this weekend, and Florida down the road. So we got a chance to beat, Alabama and Florida. Uh, so those will be big games that'll set us up for really how this season's going to go. Uh, and I think Cal's going to have them fired up for that. Um, now, so hopefully the Hogs can run with Alabama tonight and able to show them to roll the tide, if you will.
it is really hard to believe there is only 4 games left on the basketball schedule.
Wow.
Like that flew by, man.
Yeah, for
Or
sure.
am I missing? No, I'm missing.
I was gonna say that
No, there's
seems.
6. There's 6
Okay.
left. There's 4 left this month, and there's 2 in March, and then we got the NCAA tournament. So,
Okay.
man, but it has still even only 6 games left. It has flown by,
Yeah.
but this is what I say to Tank. It is a whole lot more fun to get on this podcast and talk about the Hogs winning and the good things than it is to talk about doing what we had to do in football season
Oh, for sure.
every single week. Well, they played hard and
Yeah.
they look,
Oh yeah, it's
they
much
haven't
happier.
they haven't quit. Like we beat Texas Tech, woo!
That's right. Yeah.
NCAA tournament, woo! It's
Yeah.
a lot better. So
Yeah. For sure.
that's all I gotta say. Your job is to make your fans happy. That's how you make your fans happy. When
Well, I want to bring up something. This ain't Arkansas related, but something that is not making some fans happy.
oh no,
Uh, up in Manhattan, but
not me.
Manhattan, Kansas.
Oh, Kansas. Oh,
Jerome Tang, the coach at Kansas State.
who a lot of people wanted him for the Arkansas job.
That's
I,
right.
I remember Otis said they need to take a hard look at Jerome Tang.
Well, he made some very honest comments a week or so
Yes.
ago. Said that most of his guys wouldn't be back. They're not playing hard enough. Was just real honest. I mean, I didn't see nothing. It was kind of refreshing what he said. He said what a lot of the fans and
Yeah.
media was probably thinking. Well, I guess the Kansas State athletic director didn't like it too much and decided to fire him with cause.
Yeah.
And the cause is what he said. Okay. And so in order to do that, they're trying to skip out on $18.67 million that they owe him. Okay. Well, what does Jerome Tang do?
Probably files a lawsuit immediately.
And guess who he got as his lawyer?
Oh no, please tell me.
He goes and gets the NCAA killer, Tom Mars, the man who represented Houston Nutt from Little Rock, the man who
Got you freeze.
got Hugh Freeze and just won against the NCAA in Oxford, Mississippi. Okay.
Well, I mean,
And
no,
his,
but here's the thing. I've listened to a few things on this. They fired him for not winning enough basketball games,
yeah.
and they used that press conference
Yeah.
as an excuse.
To trying to get out of the 18 million.
Uh, it's kind of like, and I'm not trying to pick a wound here, but it's kind of like we fired Nolan back in the day. If Nolan had been winning games at the time, he could have said anything he wanted, and Frank Broyles would have shut up and take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just that's the reality of that was the reality of the situation. I mean,
Yeah.
you win in games, but I mean, Jerome Tang had been good at Kansas State. I mean, had not been bad at all. Had a couple down years. So that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You just you either got to cut bait, but apparently they're trying to use an excuse. He's gonna file a lawsuit. They're gonna lose. They're gonna pay him $18.7 million,
Yeah.
and the only thing that's happening is it made Kansas State look bad.
Yeah. You're right.
It's kind of like when we tried to get out of paying Brett Bielema. Um, like the only thing you do is make yourself look bad. Pay the man his money.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
it's dumb, but you shouldn't have signed the contract. So
All right. Well, that's enough of our Kansas State talk.
yeah, for all our Kansas State fans out there,
That's
you're
right.
welcome.
There you go. Now Hawg Baseball went down to Texas, played 4 games in 4 days, and 3 of them went pretty well. One of them
Right?
not so well. They started off the first night, and the offense looked good.
Yeah.
Ryder Helfrich.
And whoever had the illegal stream on YouTube, thank you.
That's right. Yeah.
For 3 glorious innings, it was wonderful.
That's right. Yeah. Ryder Helfrich was the dude.
Dude, so what was funny was he gets up and I look at my wife. I'm like, because Susan gets that line drive to left field. Helfer gets up and goes, this is the guy. I said, he's sure frown. He may strike out here, I don't know, but do something stupid, but he's a sure round first round pick.
Yeah.
First pitch, crank.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. And so yeah, Helfrich showed who he was.
Now another one of the stars. Well, I gotta give a shout out to our boy Cam Kozel.
Yes, sir.
He
Yes, sir.
got a couple big hits over the weekend. Had a laser in the first game, and then in the who was it? Who was the third game against? Texas Tech. Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
They lost to TCU. They
Yeah.
beat Texas Tech. In the Texas Tech game, he had the home run that put them into overtime, right? Put them into extra
I
innings.
believe so. Yes, sir.
I wasn't able to watch that one, but listen to the highlights or whatever. But one of the guys transferred from Lamar Ruiz, played left field for us. He went from batting like in the first game next to last, I think, to leading off in the last game. And I think he had like a 700 on base percentage over the weekend, something like that.
That's what you want out of a leadoff man. Ain't
No
it?
kidding,
You
man.
don't want him on base. You want them ducks on the pond, as the kids say.
That's right. He had a really good, and really the pitching. Besides that second game, had a little troubles, but the pitching was pretty solid. Everybody.
Yeah, it is just going to get better. I mean, Arkansas's got another loaded baseball team. I mean, there's nothing new there, but a lot of the other SEC teams got loaded baseball teams. I think they're still ranked number 7 or 8 by most publications. Would be a super regional host, which is where you want to be. I mean, the difference between 1 and 8 is not really that important in baseball. I mean, like it makes you feel good to have that 1 by your name, but in the reality, you just want to
there's a long way to go before we get there. But
yeah.
In that second game, you got to give a little grace to Dietz because that was the most innings he's pitched since he's been in college was that game. And he's starting a second game for one of the top ranked teams in the nation. So against a very good TCU team. So exciting. Like you said, in this time of tanking, it's nice to be able to talk about and what we went through with football. It's nice to be able to talk about a basketball team that's ranked And it's nice to be able to talk about a baseball team that's definitely ranked.
No, and you got and yeah, it's and guys, it is hard to do to get on here and just doom and gloom around your program.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, like John Neighbors had to do it like every day.
that's right. Yeah.
You don't let her be sad for 30 minutes. We only had to do it for an hour once a week. So that was the least we had that going for us.
One thing that's been neat to see so far, Clint, is this team seems like they have the type of camaraderie that the team last year had too.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the things that Van Horn talked about the team last year, that they loved each other, that they were a great, just they had just camaraderie, that they played for each other so well. And it really seems like this team, just seeing them in like post game interviews and stuff like that, it seems like they have that this year so far.
No, all your good teams have that. You know, like Cam taking them guys fishing. Like when he got on the phone with us, um, he was shirtless. He just got done fishing, and I was jealous of his abs. Uh, I mean, let's just be honest. But he why am I brain farting on their names?
Aloy brothers.
The Loy brothers. I want to say Alua, and I knew that wasn't it. The Loy brothers had just got out of the car. They went fishing.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about the Arkansas Tech team that I'm on that's in the Hall of Fame. The amount of stuff we'd go do together.
Yeah.
I remember I listened to Ryan Leaf's podcast that he did on the bust, his life story. He's talking about that Washington State team, who was the first Washington State team in forever to go to the Rose Bowl, which was a big deal back in the day, kids.
Yeah.
Back then, to make it to the Rose Bowl was like the pinnacle for a program like Washington State. We talking about how close it was, how him and his offensive line were always going golfing.
Yeah.
So when you got a team together like that, they can do incredible things.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have a bunch of individuals, I think, make it to the College World Series. You're just not.
Yeah. Well,
You
and
got to have that
I
type
think
of
a lot
camaraderie.
of that is, like you said, and it's the, and Ryan Silverfield, actually, we're going to talk about football a little bit here in a minute, but one of the things he talked about in his press conference the other day, he said, people talk about culture. And are you building a culture? He said, look, the culture's the players. He said, the players have to believe in what you're telling them, and they have to buy in, and then they have to they have to buy in together, and they have to bond together. And he said it's about them. And I think that's what we're seeing. Just the way we've gotten to know Cam a little bit, and just seeing all the other players, people like Cam, and I know there's other personalities like him on the team that are those type of guys that are, like a Reese Robinette sounds like the type of guy that brings the other guys together too.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of guys that, they're grabbing people to go fishing. They're playing video games together. Cam talked about him and Robinette went duck hunting. He was on the Buzz the other day talking about that. Stuff like that. That's what's going to make them. And so that's what, it's just neat to watch because they're having fun. They may have a bad game, but here and there, but they're having fun playing together, and that's fun for fans to watch.
And I think it's just going to get better because I think this team's going to win a lot of ball games and a lot of season left, and they're going to be having fun together, and we get to enjoy the ride. So
that's right. Well, Clint, as I said the other day, we did get a little press conference from football.
Yes, sir.
Ryan Silverfield gave a long press conference, and we got to hear from Roberts, the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator. Can't remember his name. Let me see. Is it Cramsey? Tim Cramsey.
Tim Cramsey.
Before we get into that, though, I do want to mention that we did lose two coaches.
We did, and who cares? Well,
I mean, it's the defensive line coach and the quarterback coach, Clint.
Yeah, Clint Trickett.
Yeah.
No, back in the day, you'd be worried about that kind of thing because, like, okay, well, While Cam Ball came here to play for Marion Hobby or whoever the coach was. No, Cam Ball came here because Arkansas paid him the most money to come here.
Yeah.
That's I mean they're coming to pay under a contract. They're not really coming to play for a coach. Like 2-3 years ago, it'd be more significant.
Yeah.
There is going to replace them, and hopefully make good calls on who they hire. And I think I trust Silverfield to do that.
Well, and the thing is too, like Hobby went to the NFL. Okay.
Trickett became a coordinator.
Took an offensive coordinator position. Okay. Now, here's the deal. I think part of it has to do with the timeline now, the way things are. Okay. Well, and Silverfield did talk about, he said, look, that's one of the reasons we have two defensive line coaches. He said, yeah, we lost a defensive lineman coach, I think this was before Trickett was announced when they did the press conference.
Yeah.
Because it was announced like right after that. But he said, that's one of the reasons we have two defensive line coaches. He said, so, that one left, yes, but we still got a guy that's been working with them this whole time. And so I thought that was kind of neat that he mentioned that. He said, so they're still, and they got two offensive line coaches. But anyway,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, and the more you see Silverfield, I think I see what the problem was with Sam Pittman. Sam Pittman was never designed to be the head guy.
Yeah.
I think he was a great football coach. If he wants somebody to coach off the line, he's about as good as there is, but he didn't have that head guy with him. And coming off the Morris years, we needed a football coach. And Pittman could provide that. But I think with Silverfield, you're seeing a lot more natural leader, a lot more natural head coach, and that's not a slide at Pittman.
No.
I still love Sam Pittman. I'm happy he was our head football coach.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I do think there was it became clear to me there was a flaw in his leadership style, and I think you're right. He didn't see the big picture.
And I think you're seeing that with Silverfield, like he's a natural head football coach.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it is that he is that good or just we're hungry for a guy that's a head football coach. After Morris, you were hungry for a football coach.
Yeah.
And then you got that, and now you're hungry for a head football coach, and I think we got that. Now we got to see if it translates.
Now, there's something that was real interesting, and this is the only sports show that's ever going to bring this up. But it's interesting as Silverfield's talking about something they're doing in their off-season training. Okay. And here's what they're doing. Okay, Clint.
All right, tell me that.
They drafted teams. Okay.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter what position you're in. So it's not by position. They had like, I think it was 8 captains or whatever. And then they drafted like a snake draft. They picked people to be on their team. Okay. And each team came up with their own name. So they got like these like cool names they come up with or whatever.
Right.
And then they're competing and like, they get points if they, for being at, workouts and doing all the different things they do. They also get deductions if they're, like one of them parked in a spot they wasn't supposed to park at. And so they got a deduction for that. If they, miss a workout or anything like that. So they're trying to keep each other accountable as in their group or whatever. So it's smaller groups to kind of keep themselves accountable. They also get points for doing, like community service stuff. Like you said, they did a can drive and they took more cans than like some like shelter or food pantry or something had ever gotten from anybody. It was the most they'd ever received or whatever. So that was kind of cool. But here's why I wanted to bring that up. Okay. That's a neat idea. They got these teams, they got all this. Clint, as a youth pastor, we used to do the almost exact same thing for years.
Yeah.
A friend of mine that was a youth pastor at a bigger church introduced it to me. And there's churches all over the state of Arkansas that have done that. And it's all over the country, I'm sure. We would do it we would do a draft to put people into groups.
Mm-hmm.
They would compete. Like with mine, I would do like things like if they like have them come up with games and fun stuff to do for like Wednesday nights, and so they would do that kind of thing, and then they would do like stuff out in the community, things like that too, to get points. And then we had like a big prize at the end of the like 8 weeks or something. We did it or whatever. I just thought it was kind of neat that
No,
something
and
that
you
like
know,
youth
Danny.
groups have been doing for years. They're doing, but the reason that we did it, that I did it as a youth minister was because it built camaraderie. It got kids that maybe didn't hang out together, like the new kid coming in from in seventh grade's getting to hang out with seniors and getting to know them a little bit
Right, yeah.
in and outside of church. But that's what it does for the football team, right? Because you got defensive back maybe hanging out with an offensive lineman that maybe not getting to hang out on normal
Yeah,
and working out
100%.
together, stuff like that. And I
No,
think,
and Danny Dring, who we've had on the program, my martial arts mentor, back before I retired from jujitsu, he always had a saying, goes, "I know a good idea when I steal it." So
that's right. That's right. And
like,
every good idea,
he's like, yeah,
every
he's
good
like,
idea is
I'd
stealing.
take it that way.
That's right.
I'd take it
That's
that way.
right. And so, I said, and I really like that because that's one way, like I talked about earlier, you build culture. Okay. Now, a couple of the things I heard from the press conference that I wanted to bring up uh, is the offensive coordinator echoed what Silverfield had said. He said, we have an offensive philosophy and a way we like to run our offense, but we're going to have it match our players. It's, it's going to match what our quarterback, what our running backs, what our receivers, what our linemen can do best. They did say that it is a competition between RJ and KJ. That they don't expect they're not going to put pressure on deciding who it's going to be until the fall. That they're not going to have a timeline on it. That I mean, if one of them shows better in the spring, then they'll announce them. But they're not going to. But they're not going to push it saying, "Oh, we need to decide on somebody by this date." Um, Also, the offense coordinator talked about how he would like to have. He said, if Silverfield will let me, we're going to take the color jerseys off and let them quarterbacks take some hits. He said, because we need to see what they can do in full contact. So we know what they can do in a game.
I don't disagree with it. I
I
mean, you
love
don't
it.
want to do it every day in practice,
No,
but in scrimmages, you want it to be live.
that's right.
I mean, you got you just I agree. I mean, it's old school, but I mean, you've
Yeah.
got to see what these guys can do. And I guarantee you got that kid from San Angelo too. I don't know his name. He's going to want to try to win the job.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, these guys, no one's go. I mean, you may sign a contract to be the third string quarterback, but at the end of the day, you want to play.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it sounds like they're going to give them all a chance. They said the Memphis guys have been really helpful. In fact, when they split up the teams, that a lot of the Memphis guys were picked first because the captains that picked were like, yeah, they're going to know what Silverfield wants.
Yeah.
So they were, they kind of, and they knew the culture, that he was trying to build there, so, um, and then, Roberts was talking about, the defense is going to be multiple, all the different things we've heard on that. But it was good to hear them. It was good to kind of get to hear their point of view. And it sounds like Silverfield's going to let them talk a lot, so that'll be good. Because we didn't get to hear from the coordinators, but like once a year,
Yeah, a couple times. So.
And they are doing a regular spring game. I mean, it's not going to be a regular game, but they're going to
Yeah.
let fans come and media come and things like that. So that'll be nice. He said, and Silverfield said, he said, the fans want to get to know these players. He said, they want to get to know them. And so we want to give them a chance to get to know them.
Well, yeah, it's not like back in the old days when you had a kid for 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, now you get there and maybe I'll see you for 6 months.
Yep. For sure. Anything else on football? You got any questions about if they said anything, Clint?
I haven't heard anything. It's just, I'm looking forward to the season. I do think, the initial disappointment of the Silverfield hire was about as underwhelming as anything that you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And to see him completely turn it around
He's winning
and
people
come,
over. Yeah.
yeah, and just completely win it over. Um, and I think you're seeing. I think it's looking like Yurchek hired the right guy.
Yeah.
It really, really is. He's won me over, and I got to see it on the field too. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is the money situation's right with the NIL. So
Well, and I think a lot of that is Silverfield's out there beating down doors, getting the money himself.
yeah,
Whereas Juracek didn't do that for Pittman, and Pittman was just focused on football. So now there's a couple of national stories I wanted to bring up. Well, we've already talked about a couple, but there's one. Clint, have you heard about? Have you ever heard of the school Sacramento State?
I have heard of the school Sacramento State.
Do you
I
know? Do
have.
you know where it's at? Do you know where it's located?
I'm gonna throw this out there. Is it in Sacramento?
Sacramento, where?
I would guess California, but I'm guessing
Yes,
I'm wrong.
yes. I mean, I know I sounded like I was trying to get
The
myself out
state
there.
capital of California is
Yeah, yeah.
Sacramento.
And that's on the where's that at? In the what coast?
That is on the west coast.
Kind of
I believe
where you're at right now when you go
Pacific Ocean.
fishing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that's
it's like
right. Yeah. So
right over there. It's right
yeah,
over
like
there.
if you pass by it on your way to Hawaii, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, you wave down at it. Well, Sacramento State is I don't know if they're moving up or whatever, but they're wanting to join the MAC conference, Clint. The MAC, yeah. Let me tell you about some teams that are in the MAC, just in case you're wondering. You may already know this, but I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah,
know
some
for sure.
action.
Akron, Ball State,
Ohio, not
Bowling
close to
Green,
California.
Buffalo, Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan,
Those
Kent
places all
State,
count.
also in Ohio, Miami of Ohio, Northern Illinois, Ohio, Toledo, and Western Michigan. Hey, Clint, look, civics, not my thing. Geography, I'm
Not a
decent
fan.
at it. I've traveled
Yeah.
around the world a little bit,
Yeah.
but I just go to where they tell me to go, where the plane ticket says to land. Are those very close to each other?
No, and at some point, common sense has to take over, Travis. Because like in the ACC, that crap they did, and the crap the Big Ten did, you low key get it because they're big schools and they have private jets and all that.
But no. Get this. But here's the deal, Clint. Have
Okay,
you heard about this at all?
no, I have not. This
Okay,
is
this blew my mind.
okay.
So not only did they make a dumb decision by joining the MAC conference, they also made probably the dumbest financial decision ever. They're having to pay like a ton of money to join the conference.
Okay.
They're forfeiting any profit sharing they get from being in the conference for the first 5 years. And they have to pay for air travel for the other teams that come to them.
I mean, how desperate were you to join? I mean, seriously, how desperate were you to join?
And in other news, Sacramento is also getting their getting their players to try to sell stuff live on Whatnot. So we go. I mean, really? I mean,
Like
playing any other conference close.
playing the whack. Like if you joined the whack, it would have made sense.
I mean, it's anyway.
I mean,
So
the Sun Belt would have made more sense.
it makes it. But at least okay, if you're gonna do that, don't negotiate those terms.
No, that's terrible.
I mean, it's like, hey,
Like we will hitchhike to every game.
yeah.
Sign here.
Another one. You've heard of IMG Academy,
I have heard of IMG Academy.
okay? And they're famous for what? for the
Sports,
great schooling, right? Education.
education, top notch. I mean,
Did you hear they're in trouble
oh no.
with the feds?
Well, that tracks.
Apparently, they've been taking money because of a couple of their students were connected to most wanted uh, Mexican cartel or drug cartel. I don't know if they were Mexican, some sort of drug cartel.
Right.
What's the Centillo or whatever the big cartel, whatever, one of them. Like the one El Chapo was, I think,
Okay.
aligned with. Okay, they were taking money, and like the parents or relatives they're taking money from. Okay, they weren't even using a false name or laundering it through, like saying, "Hey, Clint, I'm on the FBI's most wanted list. So can you send this money to IMG Academy for me?" No. Like if they found out by just looking at their database and saying, "Oh wow, they brought it." I mean, like the feds just looked at their account and said, "Oh, they took a bunch of money from this person who's on the FBI's most wanted list."
Yeah, it would be basically be like me, like going to my bank and being like, "Hey, can you deposit this check from Pablo Escobar?"
Exactly. Yeah.
The
Yeah. Why not?
funds will clear, I promise.
That's right. Yeah. He's good for it.
Trust me, we don't want to
Anyway,
know if he's not.
I thought that was crazy. Like, okay, at least the people running the finances for IMG Academy needs to have some sort of education to keep from crap like that from
Yeah.
happening. I mean, like, we're definitely okay, you and I should not be running a school, even if it is a football sports factory, right? But
No.
we would know better not to put those people's, hey, you probably shouldn't give us that check in your name. Like, we would probably know
Yeah.
that at least. I mean, we're not,
If you could at least give it to Billy's dad,
yeah, that's
then
right.
have Billy's dad give it to me,
Yeah, or
that
just
would work. That would work better for me.
one of your other companies that are people that are laundering money for you that have a clean record, use them. you know. Anyway, I thought that was crazy. They're anyway. And then the last one I wanted to bring up is good on Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, I seen this.
He renegotiated his contract, lowering and look, I say good on him. He's probably not going to get less money. It's
No.
just negotiated it to where it's going to hit less for the Chiefs, but it's going to hit a lot less. Okay, they were he was going to hit them for 78 million this year, 78.2, and it's going to cut it down to 34.65 million, which is going to open up 43.5.6 million that they can spend on getting him some help,
Yeah.
some more players.
No,
You
because
think?
even Patrick Mahomes needs some help.
Yes, he
I
does.
mean, you kind of seen the last couple of years what happens when you build a really good team and put a decent quarterback in there.
Yeah,
You got your guy, but you get to Patrick Mahomes, you can take a lot less around him.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just about getting the right team together. So
And speaking of which, there might be a guy that's kind of cat quick that may have just got his walking papers from somebody in South Florida yesterday.
yeah,
That he might know the offense already, and
and they do need receiver help.
they might know. I mean, he's a little crazy in the head sometimes, but they might know how to deal with him already because they've done it before. Might be a good idea to give him a call. I don't know if I'm a Chiefs fan, I would probably say, hey,
You think that's coming up on KC Talk Radio?
oh, they're yeah, they're probably picking it outside.
That is on. That is on. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that's about like when he shall that shall not be names available on Arkansas Sports Talk Radio.
yeah,
That like everybody, I guarantee it's just all over. Like, okay, we got to bring Tyreek Hill back.
yeah, that's right. Well, I said one last thing, but I did want to mention to you, Clint, this morning I was listening to Morning Mayhem on the Buzz, and guess who they had on to talk as a guest this morning?
John Daly.
Well, they have him on every week.
Well, yeah.
None other than old Tommy Smith,
Oh wow.
the outlaw.
How's the Outlaw doing?
Apparently, him and Crawford are doing a podcast now.
Okay.
I didn't hear the name of the podcast, or I would say it on here, but apparently they're doing a podcast now, and he was on there and sounded good. It was neat hearing them all together again.
Yeah.
You know, Clint and I, those of y'all from Arkansas, Tommy was around a long time, Magic 105 back in the day, and we were big fans of his. And I got to meet him one time with when I went and did the Clergy Bowl several years ago. So,
well, we were talking once about, like, hey, I said we should do a Mount Rushmore of Arkansas Radio Hall of Fame.
mm-hmm.
And we're like, no, it's really not a discussion because you got Craig O'Neill, you got Tommy Smith. Who's the other one? I know Broadway Joe.
Bob Robbins.
I mean, I couldn't remember.
It's those four. Yeah.
It's those four. I mean, there's just you've got all the, you got all the genres covered. You got Bob who had country, you got Broadway Joe, hip hop, R&B.
And I think before I turned it on, I think they had Craig O'Neill on with him because they have Craig O'Neill on once a week also now.
Yeah.
And so I think that would have been cool to hear them too. I may go back and listen to it.
No, but that's the list. I was because Trey Day's my friend, so I was talking to Trey Day, and I said, you could be. He goes, no, it's Broadway Joe. He's like, it's Broadway Joe. I go, no, you're right, it's Broadway Joe.
Yep. All right, folks. Well, hey, Clint, anything else before we sign off here?
No, man. Another one in the can. Number 785 in the can.
I think we're like 234, but
yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
I'm not good at numbers.
Anyway. Well, folks, like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think. We haven't been getting anybody saying we haven't got any bad sports movies yet. So, I guess y'all don't want us to watch.
Got to be on the streaming services that we pay for.
I'm
not paying $6 for watch Space Jam 2.
That's right. So let us know if you come up with any of those, and we'll be happy to do it. But like, share, subscribe, share a lot. Check us out on YouTube, on Spotify, on Amazon, on Apple Podcast. Also, we're on Facebook, on
we're
X,
everywhere.
On Instagram, on
TikTok.
Farmers
only.
All right.
You don't have to be lonely.
That's right. Get on Farmers Only. All right, folks. Have a great week. Go Hogs. Roll the Tide, and kick Missouri by the tiger tail.
Woo pig.
Woo pig.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Oh, I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come.